Zoe, I understand that you had your fair share of experiences with, and correct me if I'm pronouncing this word wrong, cervical cancer.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you pronounced it correct. Yeah.
And that you were diagnosed in January of 2013, which I'm very sorry to know about, hear about. Would you please let me know, because I'm not really familiar with this specific cervical type of cancer. Would you please let us know what it is, and then I want to know your what went through your mind, and how did the first week look like when you found out the situation?
Yeah. So yeah. So in America, you will probably have, I think you might call them pap smears. Are they called pap smears? So
I'm not
women will
sure.
go to the, so I work in a GP practice, which I think you'd call a physician's office in America.
Hmm.
Is that right?
Hmm.
Like a family doctor. So I
Right.
work in a family doctor's surgery. And I don't know in America who does the pap smears. I don't know if the gynecologist does them. But basically, we have a screening program in the UK. So we have a breast screening program, we have a bowel screening program, and we have a cervical cancer screening program. So it's about trying to identify people at risk of these cancers. So a pap smear is when you just basically get a lady in, she lies on the bed, and you take a sample of cells from her cervix. And the cervix is like a donut-shaped muscle at the bottom of the womb. So that's what opens up when a woman's having a baby. So in the UK, we have a screening program, and I know in America, I think you just pay your gynecologist to do them. I know the health system is different in America, but we get them done for free. And I used to do them as my job as a nurse in the doctor's surgery, and I was completely up to date with mine. We had them every 3 years in the UK, and so I was completely up to date with my pap smears, and I think I was a year off having my next one, and I just started getting symptoms, and I knew because of my background that they weren't right. So I started getting like abdominal pain, or pelvic pain, I should say, and sort of ladies' gynae symptoms. And so I thought there was something not right. So I went to my doctor and I said, there's something not right. So she thought I had an infection. So she gave me some antibiotics, and it didn't change anything. And I thought, there's still something not right. So then I said, I want you to swab me. So she gave me a swab, and it came back normal. And I was like, I'm surprised that swab was normal. And then I went to see the nurse practitioner who does the same job as me. And I said, I think you need to scan me, because, at the time I was married, I'd been married for 14 months. I got married at 33, and I turned 34 a month after I got married. So I got married, in some people's eyes, quite late. And so we were trying for children sort of half-heartedly. Like, I wasn't really that bothered. If I got pregnant, I got pregnant, but I wasn't like, oh my God, like my life is going to end if I don't get pregnant. I wasn't like obsessed by it, but it was just, we were trying, and that was it. And so I said to her, look, I think you need to scan me, because I'm a woman of childbearing age, and I'm getting pelvic pain, and I've had it for 6 weeks. It's not going away. So they said they agreed to scan me, and then I went for a scan, and then we have this system in the UK. I don't know how it works in America, but if you think that a patient might have cancer, they get sent on a fast track 2 week. It's called a 2 week wait, and so you get seen within 2 weeks.
Prioritizing.
Specialist. Pardon?
Prioritizing.
Yes. So it's it's a special referral form that you're filling in. You have to say why you.
I like that. That keeps it fair and balanced, and it's not about rich or poor. It's about priority who has less time.
Yes, and ironically, I would say that it works worse in the private system in the UK. It's much better if you go down the NHS track in the UK. So anyway, so I went for my scan, and I never heard anything. And then I got a phone call from the gynae department at the hospital saying, oh, you've got an appointment next week. And I was thinking, oh, that's a fast appointment. And because I work in the system, I knew that it was, they'd sent me on I still didn't get the scan results. Anyway, it was all a bit weird. It was near Christmas time, you see. So I think it was all getting people were winding down for Christmas. So I went along, had some investigations done. My husband came for, some of my appointments, and then I had to go back and have the results of my, I had a hysteroscopy where they pop a camera inside well, they were going to pop a camera inside my uterus and have a look around. But anyway, and a colonoscopy. Some people watching this may have had a colonoscopy. It's when you just do a more detailed examination of the cervix. And so I went back to my results, and I went back on my own, and so they called my name in, and there was a woman. So I went into the surgeon. There's the doctor, and then a female, not in a uniform, just in her own clothes. And I thought, that's a bit weird. And of course, because I've worked in that environment, I was kind of spotting things that kind of weren't looking very good. and then they basically told me that I had cervical cancer. And so I think maybe, I mean, I knew there was something not quite right because of the symptoms I was having. So I think I was prepared for something slightly crazy. My mum's mum had died of cervical cancer. I never met her. So my mum's
sorry to hear that.
died of it. Oh, it's fine. I never knew who she was. And so then I had to ring my husband and tell him on the phone. I said, he was at work, and I said, oh, hi, I've had my results. I've got cervical cancer. I think you might need to come to the hospital. So he turned up like that, crying his eyes out, and not in a good way. But in that time, I had time to, in the UK, we have a specialist cancer nurses called Macmillan nurses. They're funded by a cancer charity, and they're excellent, and they're really good for like emotional support, financial support, and also medical support. They know a lot about the disease. They're specific to certain cancers. So you'll get a breast cancer Macmillan nurse, and a bowel cancer Macmillan nurse, and a cervical or a gynecology Macmillan nurse. And so she'd sat with me for a while, whilst we chatted, whilst my husband turned up, and then they wanted to scan me because they wanted to see how advanced it was. And so they fitted me in for a scan within a week, which in the NHS is quite fast. So they fitted me in the next day for a scan, but it was going to take a week for the results to come back. So in that week, we just went home and we didn't speak to anybody for a week. And actually, some friends came around for dinner because we'd already arranged it, and we thought, well, we're not going to cancel it. And in those situations, you kind of want your life to be as normal as possible, because because you are in denial. You think, oh, this isn't really happening. It must just be a dream, and I'm going to wake up and it'll all be fine. And I won't be told that. I'll just have this really weird, bad dream. So you kind of just continue with normal life. So our friends came round, and we didn't say anything to them. But I didn't speak to my mum and dad for a week, and I'm very close to my mum and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to speak to them because I knew I couldn't lie to them. Like, I couldn't not tell them, and I couldn't keep it from them. But I didn't want to worry them until I knew more about what the situation was we were facing. So I wanted to wait for the scan results to come back.
I'm listening. Yes.
And for us to have a plan about what we were going to do. So actually, then we had to go around and tell my mum and dad, which was not the best thing you ever have to do. And so, and my mum said to me, like, she said, I knew there was a problem because she was texting me as well. I didn't even return her text messages because, like, how do you return a text message? I'm so authentic. Like, I just couldn't reply to on a text message and not, and just pretend that everything was okay. So I just blanked her for a week. And she said I knew there was something wrong because I didn't hear from you for a week, and that's not like you. So,
right.
Yeah. That was the worst bit. That me being told was not the problem. Having to tell my family was the biggest problem, because when it's happening to you, you're able to process it, I think, but it's hurting and worrying family members that's the difficult bit.
Absolutely.
I found, yeah.